Hey guys, it's Comic Book Quickie time with Economics and Comics. If you enjoy this content, please hit that like button, subscribe, comment, and turn on all notifications. Let's go. Hey guys, welcome back to Economics and Comics, and your next Comic Book Quickie is Wolverine. This is the limited series, classic cover. I remember when I was younger, I would trace it and I would draw it over and over. This is my personal copy. It's signed by Chris Claremont, Len Wein, Rubenstein, Shooter, and Herb Trimpe. Basically, everyone that's in this book, kind of, plus the creators of Wolverine, who are now, most of them are passed away, which is sad. This book is so great because of the art inside. I mean, Frank Miller. This is the only guy I need to sign this book is Frank Miller. Frank Miller, and then Joe did the coloring and finishing of it, but basically Frank Miller art. And it starts off with Wolverine. I'm Wolverine. I'm the best there is at what I do, but what I do best isn't very nice. This is where you get that saying, you hear it all the time. And he's chasing down a grizzly, a ravaged grizzly that's, killing people. You know, when you read these books and you go back and say, oh, that was in this movie, that was in this movie. So this is basically the Japan Wolverine movie, where the beginning he goes to the bar and he gets the hunters. And so after he chases down the grizzly, he's got to put the grizzly down because it's killing people, right? And he's having a conversation about, the grizzly had no idea it was coming type of thing. He, didn't know what was coming for him. So then he finds out, he smells the arrow was dipped in the poison, so he tracks down the arrow. They don't show much except in the bar, the guy hits him over the head, and then he says, I let him live. And the bear lasted longer, right? So when he gets back, then we start talking about Mariko Yashida. So she's his love interest, and he's been with the X-Men for a while. And he got a bunch of letters. And basically she's saying you gotta stay away, I'm married now type of thing. He doesn't care. He gets on a plane and he goes over there. And he's met by Asano Kimura. You don't really hear much about him, which is interesting, but they were friends. And they worked together on assignments before. He was an X-Men type of thing. You know what I mean? And he's telling him, look, man, she's married now. And, you need to stay away. But she's like, well, I don't care. I'm going to go talk to her. I want to know why she got married. And he puts on his classic Wolverine costume. The brown and yellow, right? And he goes to the, whatever you call it, the Yoshida Ancestral Stronghold, which you've seen in, if you've watched the movie, it's with the Silver Samurai and all that. It's kind of similar. Same thing. And he sneaks in. And he finds her. There, he's talking to her, right? And he's like, look at me. I want you to look me in the face when we're talking. And she looks, and her husband was beating her, right? So Wolverine got pissed. So Wolverine meets her husband, and Wolverine's about to kill him, and she begs him to stop. Right? So he does. And then he leaves. And when he leaves, he gets hit by a bunch of shuriken ninja stars. And they were really poisoned, so he's pretty wounded. But, of course, he can't die. He's healing. And her father's there, your Lord Shingen, he's there, and he says, how dare you, basically come here. She's married now. This is a dishonor, stuff like that. And so he says, just classic stuff. He says, how about this? Let's have a battle with the wooden swords or whatever, the practice swords, and we'll see who wins. And basically, what Lord Shingen's doing is just trying to piss Wolverine off more and more. He's much better with the sword than Wolverine is. He's breaking his neck and his back and all his pressure points and really pissing off Wolverine to the point where he can't control himself, right? And that was his his mission to make him lose control and bust out the blades, right? And then he proceeds to whoop his ass. He proceeds to whoop Wolverine's ass pretty handily. But of course, he's a badass samurai. And Wolverine's kind of injured. But in the process, he's basically dishonored Wolverine in the eyes of Mariko because, you know, he lost control. And, you know, it's about respect and stuff and like that in Japan. So, you know, they leave him in the side of the street, and that's that, right? And then some you know, villains, or not villains, but gangs or whatever, come and say, hey, you Gaijin, what are you doing here? We're going to get you. And before Wolverine can do anything, they're taken out by some, like, flying daggers. Right? And Wolverine's still really beat up. And this girl picks him up and says, you're mine, Wolverine, now and forever. And I believe that is the first appearance of Yukio. Okay? Which in Wolverine 2, I think, is you see her first full appearance. But that's kind of the story, a little background of his life. A little bit into himself, talking about himself a little bit, his hunting abilities, stuff like that. And his past in Japan. And of course, it continues. This is his first solo. Frank Miller, Joe Rubinstein, Chris Claremont, one of the best. Wolverine, and he's the best at what he does, and what he does isn't that nice or whatever. So stay sick, comic book Quickians. Peace.